Sure.
So it's a real issue, and we got to figure out how to fix it, Melissa. So, hey, everybody, happy Wednesday. Oh, my goodness, it's freezing. It's a
I
cold
know.
Wednesday morning. Hope you are great this Wednesday morning. We are coming at you live from YCast Studio. This is Healthy You. I'm Kim Martin, one of the hosts of the show, and every week I always have an expert host joining me, and we just want to share with you information that is going to help you make those changes necessary so that you can live a healthy, happier, fuller life. And that's what this show is all about. I have my guest today. You guys know Melissa.
Hi, guys.
The manager at Curves on Sterling Avenue in Peoria. She's with me quite often on the show. And we just thought it would be a good idea to talk to you today about the health reality in this world and why it is so important for you to incorporate the resources that you need so that you can be healthy.
Yes.
You know, and I'm talking all the way down to the littlest things like a super cool water bottle. How many times have I been at a store and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is an awesome water bottle. I really want that.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at the price and it's $12. And I think, I'm not spending $12 on a water bottle. That's ridiculous. But you know, drinking half my weight in water is one of the most important things that I can begin doing for my health if I'm not already. So why wouldn't I invest that $12 into a beautiful water bottle that might make it easier for me to want to drink my water out of it?
Oh, exactly.
Just saying.
Because sometimes we wouldn't bat an eyelash at spending $12 on coffee or $12 on, a meal, but $12 on a water bottle that we're going to use every single day for probably at least a year till it kind of burns out and we have to buy a new one.
I know. Yeah. Every time I drive through Starbucks, $5. Every time I drive by Starbucks. No, I mean, this is a good thing for Starbucks. I'm not I like Starbucks. Don't take this the wrong way, Mr. Starbucks. But every time I drive by Starbucks, there's a line wrapped around the building.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, oh my gosh, that's great. Coffee's good. But we're spending our money, so much of our money, in places that really aren't impacting our health and the goodness of our health. So let's start with some issues. Let's just put it out there on the table. So you know, Melissa, that I've been working on a wellness program. We are now doing a wellness program and have a few companies in the area that is doing our wellness program. I'm super excited about that. People will be hearing about it, yay. But the research that we've been doing, because we've been doing so many presentations, we just did a presentation last week to a group of human resource managers in the Peoria area about today's health reality and the cost of health insurance.
Oh. It's nuts.
Oh my gosh. And the statistics, I want to get here. You're not going to be able to really see this. But basically, we're talking about companies and organizations and the money that we're losing based on health cost. And how does this correlate to you? So if you're watching this show, you're thinking, well, how does this correlate to me? What has that got to do with my health? It has a whole lot to do with it because we cannot sustain as a whole. Our country cannot sustain these numbers. We cannot sustain losing $153 billion a year in absenteeism because people are sick.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're unhealthy. It won't sustain. Companies cannot afford those numbers. We won't be able to sustain that. So this is based on research. 13% of workforce are healthy statistically. But even a bigger number shows that less than 3% of the people in the United States are considered healthy.
That's crazy.
Can you believe that?
No, I couldn't fathom. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about when the last time I took a sick day off of work even was. But I do take care of myself. And I think it's been maybe 1.5 days in about a year and a half.
Well, the average,
Yeah.
let me tell you, for the person who has 1 to 2 chronic issues, they miss on average of 1.5 days per month.
That's
And if
nuts.
you have 3 or more chronic issues, you miss 3 or more days of work per month.
And that's just for one, not to mention when you have a family. If because your children are going to, live the lifestyle that you live because you lead by example. So if you're eating badly, then they're going to be eating badly. If you're not getting enough activity, then they're probably not getting enough activity. And it's going to ripple effect onto your kids. So every 1.5 days for you per month, now multiply that by how many children you have, because they're probably going to miss that as well. And then you're having to take that time off too.
Oh, yeah. And the money just keeps racking up. Okay. And then there's a whole new word, presenteeism. Oh, that's a new word. We had to create a new word for the issue that we have. And that is when we go to work, but we're not really present because we don't feel well.
Oh, yeah.
Or we are making doctor's appointments, or the doctors are calling us while we're at work. And that costs like $1,500 billion. I can't even say the number. It's like it actually goes into the trillions of dollars that costs. So it affects all of us because long term we cannot sustain these numbers. It will not continue to sustain. This is a serious problem. And more importantly, you want to be healthy. So we sit here and we say, okay, 3% of us are healthy, what they consider healthy. So do you know what they rate that on? Do you know what they base that on?
No.
Like, how do they determine if a person is considered healthy or not? So I didn't either, but I did this research and I found out. So there are 4 factors that they use to determine if you are considered a healthy person. So you want to know this, okay?
Yeah,
oh,
I
and
do.
by the way, give us a shout out. I always forget to encourage you to post a comment. Let us know you're watching. I go back throughout the week and so many people say, oh, I saw you and Melissa, or oh, I saw you and Mary Ardapple, which I'm sure Mary's watching. She watches every week mostly. So, hey, Mary, if you're watching, show us some love. Gwen watches. I know, Gwen. Let us know you're watching, and just make some comments. Even if you just like, heart, post a comment, invite your friends. It helps us to get the word out. But the 4 factors that they use to determine if a person is healthy is 1, do you smoke? That's the first thing. So if you are a smoker, even 1 cigarette a week, you would be in that 97% of people who are considered unhealthy. Because even if you're not feeling the pain or the effects from smoking yet, we know you will. And smoking is the number one thing that a person can do for them, or not smoking, quitting smoking. Quitting smoking is the number one thing that a person can do for themselves in order to impact their health in a positive manner. So
Out of curiosity, are they counting that as those new e-cigarettes? Because that's nicotine.
Yeah,
still going in your body.
That's counted.
Okay.
And almost all wellness programs out there, if you are vaping, I guess is what it's called, that you still get penalized as a smoker. Because of the nicotine, and they don't really know the research behind it, the long-term side effects behind that stuff, and really what's in there. So, quitting smoking. If you're a smoker, that's how they rate it. They also say 120 minutes per week of exercise. So, are you exercising 120 minutes per week? That's like 4 times half hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so half hour 4 times a week. If you, that's what they base it on. They also base it on your weight, your BMI, your body mass index. Where do you fall in that range? Okay. Under 30% for women and under 20% for men. So if you're over the 30% range in your BMI, then you would be considered unhealthy. And then the food index. They look at your diet and compare it to the National Food Index as far as what types of foods you're eating and things like that. And most of us eat out a lot and fast food and high processed foods. So, and here's the thing, if you can tick off 3 of those, but yet you're still not eating healthy or you're not exercising, if you have one of those issues, you would still be considered unhealthy based on those statistics. So we have to fix this issue. And with those statistics, as I was saying, none of us want to be unhealthy.
No, because then you feel like garbage, and then if it just ripple effects into your life. You become more stressed out because you don't feel well, and it just keeps on going.
None of us want
Yeah,
to be unhealthy. We all want to be healthy, but the numbers show that most of us, 97% of
that's
us,
crazy.
are not healthy. And so, guys, we got to fix this. We
Yeah.
have to fix this. I mean, I need to work on this myself. There are things that we all can work on. So today, let's talk about some things that you can incorporate. And let's talk about the money. I do want to touch base on the money because we hear so often someone says, I can't afford to work out. I can't, afford to eat healthy.
Yeah.
But also, this research that I looked into shows that a person who is considered obese, you spend about $6,000 more a year than the average person on gas, on travel. Because like we were talking before the show started recording, Melissa, if you are not healthy because you don't eat well and you don't exercise and you don't incorporate those resources that you need, you're spending more gas money going to the doctors. So, you have to really factor in all the cost of being unhealthy versus the cost of being healthy.
Yeah. And if you don't have a car, that many more bus trips or, paying someone Ubering to get back and forth to the doctor. I mean,
Right.
it is. It is. It can just, like I said earlier, it just can ripple effect, and it can be so simple. So simple. I mean, if you have more money, yes, you do have more opportunities, but sometimes people, I think, overthink it, and it can just really be so simple.
You were talking about you can go to the library and rent a DVD
Yeah, you
to
can
do some
go.
exercise at home.
Yeah, free. Library cards are free. If you live in Peoria
Well,
County,
they're not free.
and
We pay taxes.
well, yeah, but
But it's okay.
not
So,
an
but it
addition.
doesn't take out of your pocket you're going to pay taxes anyway.
Exactly.
So nothing's free. We're paying for it. However, that's what our tax money is for, and we love our libraries. And
Or if you have the internet, which the majority of people do at their home,
Oh, yeah.
they can YouTube some workout videos. There's a million of them out there. There are ways. When the weather's nice, you can go outside and walk for 30 minutes or run if you feel like running.
you can stand in front of your TV
And march
in place.
I've been doing that a lot. We're in a step competition this week, and I don't like to lose.
Right.
But there's just easy resources. Switching out if you're a soda drinker because you're exhausted because you're not fueling your body, you're feeding your body, right?
Right.
So then now you need all this caffeine or sugar because you don't feel well, and that makes you feel better. At least you think it makes you feel better. But switching that out for water, now you're saving money.
Water's free. You
the
can
long
get water
run.
free out of your tap every day.
Yeah, I mean, not
refill a bottle.
free, but I mean,
well, you
pretty
have
doggone cheap.
Again, nothing's free, right? Not even water, really.
Yeah, but way, way cheaper. So little resources like using your library for free DVDs, going on YouTube and getting a workout thing, incorporating water instead of soda. I mean, just two little things like that. Like this week, I made a huge stock pot of vegetable soup.
Yeah, it looked
so
good.
cheap.
Yeah.
And I'm on my third lunch with it, and I still probably have another 3 bowls.
That's
I mean, we're
amazing.
talking like
Yeah.
3 cups too.
And so
Like,
think of all that money you're saving if you're not eating out.
oh yeah.
So, if you do the math, the statistics, it doesn't show that we can't afford to be healthy because so many of us are spending money eating out. And so if you're eating out, that is the first place that you can start to reduce your spending so that you can incorporate the resources that you need in order to be healthy. And that's going to help you be successful. We were talking about some of those resources. We started talking about the pretty water bottle.
Yeah.
You have to drink half your body weight in water.
Yeah.
Okay, you do. You need to do that. And just as a reminder, when you first start drinking a lot of water, your body isn't used to that. So you'll be running to the bathroom often initially, but that's your homeostasis saying, what's happening here? I'm all out of whack. And then after a week or two, your body starts to recognize that this becomes the norm and your bladder's not spazzing out like crazy and it balances out.
I mean, you still do use the restroom
Yeah,
quite
but
a
you
bit.
need to. You want to flush all that bad stuff out of your body, okay?
I think one week you were like, we went through 63 rolls of toilet paper at Curves. And you're like, what the heck? And I said, well, everyone's listening to us. They're hydrated. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
6 days, 63 rolls of toilet paper.
that's amazing. So we got some hydrated ladies there. But anyway, so you got to make sure. So if it requires for you to have a nice, pretty water bottle,
Yeah.
spend the $12. Get yourself an awesome water bottle that you're going to enjoy. It's a resource that will help you be successful, and it's worth it. It's really worth it. And so then we talked about, you really need, if you need to lose weight, you need a coach. I mean, if you have a lot of weight to lose, your best results are going to be to have a coach. There are a lot of coaches out there. Obviously, we do coaching at Curves included, but, Mary Ardapple, she's an awesome coach. And find yourself someone who is that you drive with.
Yeah, that's going to keep you accountable. You can keep them accountable, and that you guys are going to motivate each other that day when you just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, I know at Curves, if you're a member of Curves, we only charge an extra $10 a month added on top of your membership to have a monthly one-on-one coaching session with you or Kathy or myself even, and it's $10, for that extra little nudge to be healthy. And
But then for no extra charge, we have your weekly coaching in group form.
yes, a group. A lot of times wherever you're exercising or whatever you're doing, a lot of times they'll have group settings that doesn't cost you anything extra. I know we do that. You're right. So what are those resources? I think of my friend Christy Taylor, who has Fighting Fat with Fearless Faith. And what a great resource. Her book, invest in that book. If you are a person of faith and you want to learn how you can apply your faith to living that healthy lifestyle, there's a resource right here in our community. Just amazing. She does webinars and it's really lost 137 pounds. And so what an awesome person to have giving you that feedback. And so I know people think, well, I can't afford to have a coach, but it can be very affordable. And the money you'll save, if you have a good coach, you'll learn how to save money. They will teach you how to save money because like what you just said about your vegetable soup or whatever it is.
It just cost me a few dollars to make it. And if I wanted to, I could have thrown in one chicken breast too. And
you're always giving your customers and clients that you coach recipes and ideas because you're like we're talking to Melissa here. She is the money saving guru.
I had one of the girls texting me last night. She's doing a Daniel fast with her church, and she's like, all right, I'm getting burnt out on what I'm doing. Any ideas? So I was just like, here's a recipe, here's a recipe, here's a recipe. And she was like, awesome. And they were all very budget friendly and everything else. Because, yeah, I do. I have a family of 5.
Right.
And because of all of this, our insurance is through the roof. It literally takes half of one of our incomes.
Yeah.
Half.
Well, and what's happening is that we're in this pool. I've learned that we're in this insurance pool. And again, you won't be able to see these, but this is 1990 and this is 2010, and the 2020 numbers are coming out. You can't see this, but in 1990, this was all like a light blue is the majority on this map, which was about 10 to 14% of Americans, the people in the United States, were considered obese, overweight. Okay, 10 years later, in 2010, you can see how much darker it is in comparison. It's over 30%. The chart that's coming out in 2020, because these census come out every 10 years, the whole map's going to be red. And so, again, when you're in an insurance pool, you are paying your insurance, you're paying for the most unhealthiest people in the pool. You can be the healthiest person, but you're paying for the cost that the most unhealthiest person is paying. And so that's where having a good wellness program at your company or, being self-funded so that you can control those numbers for your insurance is Super
And some
important.
companies, if you do have a healthy weight, they give you a break. If
Oh,
your
yeah.
lab work is good, they give you a break.
You
My
pay
husband's
less.
company started doing where if you had like a pedometer. And so if you reached 10,000 steps every day, you got a break. It wasn't much, but it was something. Little things like that do
Yeah.
make a big,
The program that we
but
do
that
with the
is
wellness,
so
they
alarming.
actually pay less money. So if you're healthy, your insurance costs you less.
That's
It
awesome.
is awesome. So it gives people an incentive to be healthy. And those are the kinds of things that we have to do to turn these numbers around. And again, it comes back to you. We want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be healthy. You don't want to be unhealthy. So we have to get you thinking different. We have to get you to realize that it doesn't cost more money to be healthy. It saves you money to be healthy. It saves you money. It costs you more money to be unhealthy. Hands down, I'm telling you right now, it costs you more money to be unhealthy. Statistically, for every dollar you spend on preventative care, you save $5 in long-term health care. It is no fun to be sick.
No.
And just go find someone. If you don't know someone that's close to you, go visit some people. The end stages of type 2 diabetes are horrific. I lost a cousin at like 59 years old, 60 years old to type 2 diabetes, and by the time he passed away, both of his legs were amputated.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy.
It is.
It's a
And some of it
tragedy.
can't be avoided with diabetes, some of it.
No, of
But a
course.
lot of it can.
Well, there's a difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
And then
so-
there's also the part in type 2 where you do become insulin dependent because your pancreas stops
Well,
working
once you
properly.
once you start
Yeah.
get to a place. So, but if you are borderline type 2 diabetic and your doctor has said you're borderline, or you've just been diagnosed, you can fix it.
Yeah.
You can cure yourself.
hubby just
I
did.
know. I mean, tell them. Okay, this is a success story.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ed. Hey, Ed,
He always watches.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you
I better give a shout out to my husband too. He's probably not watching right now, but I know Ed's probably watching. Joe always comes back and watches later. But tell us about Ed. His story's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So just over the years of just kids, 3 kids, living crazy lifestyle, and just a lot of bad habits as he grew up as well. Grew up without a lot of money. So it was just that norm of, eat this, eat this, eat this. And I don't know, it's just that whole staple that we are trying to change now. So anyways, weight kind of creeped up on him a little bit each year, and he got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And he was shocked, and he said, I don't think it's right. And I was like, really? Come on. I mean, really? So I think he thought about it for a while, and he was like, hun, can you help me? He goes, I'm ready. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Because I had been waiting because myself, I've lost over 60 pounds. And so I was just kind of wanting it for him so badly. And so he did jump on board with me. And he couldn't work out at the time. He had a back and a groin injury, so that was not doable for him. So we had to figure out what could we do. So right away, he took away the soda. He couldn't have diet soda because he's allergic to NutraSweet, so he had to have real soda if he was going to drink any.
Right.
So pulled that out and lost a little bit of weight. And then he just started making those changes,
Small changes every day.
processed like meats, started pulling those out and using whole foods, using more vegetables, eats 5 to 6 times a day, and not these teeny tiny little meals like people think.
Good
Like good
portions.
meals.
Yes.
But like it's what's in there. You could have a cheeseburger that's this big, or I could have like a taco salad with all kinds of good stuff that's like 3 times the size.
Sure, for the
right?
same amount of calories.
Exactly. So it was just a bunch of different things that he did, switching out the soda for water, changing what it was that he was eating, changing how often it was that he was eating. What else? Oh, and then we did start on a great supplement. We were very, very fortunate.
Talking
to
about
find,
resources,
Yes.
that we want to incorporate the resources. That is another one. We talked about some tools like the water bottle and, of course, a coach, and then supplements.
Yes.
Okay? Why should you incorporate supplements?
Yes. And so we found a company, Plexus, and
Yes.
that was perfect for us. It worked out wonderful. Loved how natural and plant-based their products were. sugar. They have a little pink drink, and it's not a meal
I
supplement.
drink my pink drink every
I
day.
know.
Every
Me too.
morning, it's the first thing I drink. I found out that is the absolute perfect time for me. It's when I wake up in the morning before I have my coffee or anything, I drink it every single morning.
Because the
First thing.
chromium in it helps to balance your blood sugar all day. So you don't get these high-low spikes and crashes. And so just a combination of all of this without any exercise at all. Because now he's finally getting
He
to where
feels
he
better,
can.
so he can exercise.
Yes.
He's like, wait, first, how much has he lost?
70.
70 pounds. I just saw him the other day, Melissa, and I'm like, Ed,
I know,
look
he's
at
making
you.
me look bad.
I'm like, you are looking awesome, dude. He's like so handsome and lost all that weight. He's always been handsome.
always
but
been handsome.
Yeah, he is a handsome guy, but it just looks so great. And I know that his health is an issue, and so I was super excited.
Because not
to
only
see
did he
that.
have the diabetes, but he has psoriatic arthritis.
Right.
And so that does play a role, and we can't cure it by any means. It is an autoimmune disease, but he every once in a while he'll come back to a bad habit, which we do, but we can pull ourselves back out easier. But the last 3 days he's had a lot of processed meats. He's had a bratwurst and like some smoked sausage with his breakfast, and this morning he can hardly move. And I'm like, what'd you eat the last few days? Run back through it with me. And still he ate his 5 or 6 times a day, but it was what he ate, flipping those little things back in, some extra red meat. We usually only eat red meat like once a week.
Sure.
Because that is a inflammation.
It's an inflammatory food, yeah.
And so he's like, crud, I wasn't even thinking. So packing his lunch again this morning, had a protein shake. And like I said, you pop back out of it easier. We're going to still make some bad habits. We are far from perfect.
Well, you're going to make a mistake no matter what you do, but that's a disappointment. It's not disaster.
Yeah.
You pick yourself up and you get going again.
And it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle change. And sometimes we want to go back to, our other lifestyle just for a meal or two. But then again, we didn't feed our bodies, we didn't fuel our bodies, we fed them.
Right.
And then we don't feel well, we're dragging, we're sore, we're aching, it just has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So when you fuel and you don't feed, the outcome is just totally game changing.
So, we're just talking about today what it's costing us as a country to be unhealthy, and 97% of us are unhealthy based off of our weight, our diet, how much we exercise, and if we smoke. 97% of us are considered unhealthy. And we're talking about incorporating the resources that you need and why you can afford to pay for them versus thinking you can't afford to pay for them. So you got to incorporate the tools like your water bottle, a membership to a health club so that you can have a place to work out. If you can't do that, then exercise at home. There's a lot of free things we talked about at home. You need to incorporate good supplements. Do you want to spend $100 a month on good supplements or $250 on synthetic medication that has a million side effects? The side effects of these synthetic drugs go on and on and on. So you spend money here or here, make that choice. And then we got about 54 seconds left. I know. Find your tribe.
Oh, yeah.
Find your tribe. You need those people who are going in the same direction that are going to support. I know at Curves, we have our sisterhood.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sisterhood, and we have that sisterhood. Of course, we have I've decided the conference is happening. I got to plug the conference.
I'm so excited.
It's this Saturday. Guys, do you have your tickets yet? If you don't, get registered. We got 80 seats left. One of them has your name on it. We want to be your tribe because no matter what you want to do, I've decided we'll provide you the resources, the motivation, and the inspiration to get going on your goals and dreams. So that would be a great tribe for you, plugged there. But no matter where you are, what you're doing, you got to stay stuck with your tribe. You got to stay with those people. You cannot do it alone.
No.
Don't do it alone.
Nope.
Okay, awesome. Our half hour's up. That was the fastest half hour ever. I must have talked a lot. All right, guys, have an awesome Wednesday. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye. I know.
We only got to number 1. I was just thinking about that.
PeoriaLife.com